Every one of you listening to my voice.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid.
What was that?
I have never seen anything like this before.
What unearthly horror did that girl gaze upon?
Those people were killed by something.
You maniac!
Get on the phone, call for help!
This is tonight's second feature. I am your host, James Hewitt, and I am joined by my co-host,
Rhys Strang.
This is a movie podcast where we dive into the madness of B-movies. Each week, I surprise Rhys with a film, and from there, we go on a deep dive into the making and then talk on our thoughts and opinions.
Rhys, I really want to know how you got into B-movies, where your love blossomed, how you got passionate about this.
Yeah, I think this is the first episode, so we have to kind of set the course, set the table a bit. My diet of movies growing up was pretty shit, I'll be frank. It was terrible action movies like Red 2. Are you a big fan of Red 2, James?
I can't say I've...
Have you even heard of Red 2?
I can't say I've heard of Red 2, Rhys.
Well, there we go. You're not a real movie fan. So it was that.
Now. I'm out.
It was Disney animated films and superhero movies. I loved horror, but I was a big scaredy cat. I'm still a big scaredy cat, but I thought I couldn't handle horror movies. And I remember I'd be working with my dad, and he'd watched a couple horror movies, and I'd be like, "Dad, tell me the plot of The Omen. Tell me the plot of Nightmare on Elm Street." And after a while, I think he just got pissed off and was like, "Rhys, you just got to actually watch these fucking movies. I can't." I'm digging a trench here. I'm putting up a fence. I can't tell you the beat for beat plot of The Omen. So we watched, what was it? It was Krampus. Krampus was my first horror movie, and I watched that and I was like, man, that was fucking nothing. That was easy. Smoked it. And then I just devoured everything after that. I think, yeah, horror movies would be it. It's probably my main focus.
Finally, then you were ready for the Omen.
Yes, I was finally ready for The Omen.
But you always had a love for Dracula, right? Because first thing we made in film school, I'm forgetting the title.
The first thing we made was you as a serial killer.
Was it?
You killed people and baked them into pies.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And then it was a Dracula plot.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, I was always fascinated with horror, but I was so scared. Because
I don't think at that point I had really got into like the Universal monster universe.
James, you still haven't, mate. Well, you still haven't. You watched the fucking the cream of the crop, but you haven't gone into the way.
Well, I've dived into it a bit. You know, I'm a lover of the Wolfman. Love the Wolfman. Love the Invisible Man. Mm-hmm. I'll defend that till I die. But when you came to us, you're like, "Hey, I'm making this movie, this vampire flick," and I was like, "Okay, what the fuck did I just read?"
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's insane.
And you're like, this guy podcast.
I'm gonna make a podcast.
I need him on recording because he needs to answer for his crimes someday. But what about you, James? How did you get started with B movies?
Well, I think for me, my love of B movies, I think I was unaware that from a young age I was eventually gonna fall into a love affair with these shitty black and white, what I call masterpieces. Other people may not, but you know,
other people would probably call them shit.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We love this shit. We love eating this shit.
It's good shit to me. But you know, as a young age, like most people, of course, I fell in love with Star Wars. I fell in love with Jaws, and of course, those movies very heavily influenced by Flash Gordon, B movies, especially
those new Hollywood directors were brought up on that trash.
They were brought up on slop, and they essentially were like, okay, we know this is slop, but let's make it somewhat good. Well, incredible.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if it was conscious on their part. It was such a passion from their end. But yeah, it's elevated slop.
Yeah, it is elevated
Jaws
slop.
is elevated slop.
Yeah, I mean, every so many elements in Jaws that you could essentially take that, use it as stock footage, and cut it into a shitty B movie. Take out the acting, take out the incredible performances, and cut that together into a pile of poop, essentially. But I do. Yeah, so from a young age, I love those movies, and I think unknown to me, when I was in film school, I just happened to. I don't know. There was a force pulling me back towards that side of cinema, and I always loved monster movies. I always loved. I always loved kind of soft horror. I was also a bit of a wuss, and I was always terrified to actually sit in and watch movies. I'd always ask my mum to sleep in my room at night.
What a wuss.
I was so fucking terrified.
I'm starting a podcast with this motherfucker. He's a wuss.
Hey
Sleeping
man.
with mummy.
I'm trusting you to put all my insecurities out there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna slap you down.
No, but it's essentially my love of B movies comes from Star Wars, Jaws, I guess a lot of even Spielbergian movies. They are so heavily grounded, or they are so heavily influenced by like films he grew up on in the 50s.
Well, maybe in a way we're a third generation of those slop directors. It started with Scorsese and and De Palma and Lucas, and then it was like Ethan Coen and Sam Raimi and Peter Jackson that were brought up on that slop, and now this current generation, is brought up on another level of slop.
Well, it's hard to believe the same guy who made Bad Taste would then go on to make some of the the most incredible, one of the most groundbreaking trilogies in all of cinema history, right?
It is in line with the elevated horror that the nerds run the world now, for good and for mostly ill. We got to noogie some of these nerds. They need to go back in their
shell.
Yeah, they need to go back in their shell. They're but too open with themselves right now. But yeah, it's like, I mean, the biggest movies right now would have been slop 10 years ago. Well, not 10 years ago, 15 years ago. The Spider-Man movies are the biggest movies in the world, and they used to be, shipped off to Japan to make shitty Japanese Spider-Man movies. Like, we've kind of gone back into a renaissance of now the biggest movies are built off slop.
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw Sam Raimi's new film, Send Help. I watched it the other day. I was like, if this was made in the 80s, this would be a cult classic,
and it'd be
favorite.
Much more boring. It'd be much more boring, much shittier, and I think I'd love it more.
I think so too. Maybe less. I don't know if the characters would have been written as well. I don't.
No, but yeah, Sam Raimi, I think, is probably the pinnacle of a slop director. I was gonna say in the sense that he still holds on to it. Scorsese and Lucas and Spielberg, I think, have shaved off those corners, but Raimi, I mean, he's still making slop, but just really, really tight, fun slop.
He's keeping it
I gotta
fun.
stop saying slop. What's an alternate word of slop? No, just keep it trash.
Keep it trashy. I think the people they know what you mean.
Yeah.
It comes from a place of love. That being said, I want to dive into the first movie that we're going to cover. This was a hard one to pick, mainly because I couldn't pick something that was essentially like boring slop.
Well, you can't start with the gold. You know, we can't start with fucking Dracula.
No, we're not.
We can't start with any of that great stuff.
We're not starting with Dracula. I couldn't start at the bottom, but I did choose a film from a director that did essentially kick boot like the 50s sci-fi B horror craze, right? He basically made it what it is and what we know today. So I did pick his movie because it is so groundbreaking, and then future filmmakers took a lot of inspiration from it, then went on to adapt it.
50s, that's probably my weakest area. So I'm interested to see what this is.
Your weakest area, but I do...
This is your stronger area, I think.
This is my stronger area, but I do believe...
I would know what it is.
Yeah, you would know what it is. In the film today, of course, it is a very influential piece of media.
Okay.
So I am going to read you the synopsis.
Yeah.
And
you know I haven't watched this movie.
yeah, you have not watched this movie.
I have not watched this movie.
You have not watched this movie. And that was also the goal here. I did not want to pick a film. Of course, in future.
I've watched a lot.
You've watched...
I've watched a lot of shit.
You've logged 3,000?
I think this year will be 3,000.
3,000 films on
3,000
Letterboxd?
films. Yeah.
Shit.
And probably about... probably 500 of those are horrors and genre.
Here is your synopsis.
Scientist Andre Delambre is on the verge of a scientific revelation and breakthrough. Eager to fast-track the machine, he ends up in a horrific accident. Delambre turns to his wife, Helene, for help, but when tragedy strikes, Delambre's brother and Inspector Charas are forced to pick up the investigation.
Your top bill actors are, and this is going to be a very foreign name to you. You're not going to know who this is, but you are actually familiar with his work.
Right.
So your first name is David Hedison.
Okay.
Vincent Price, just a little unknown actor there.
Love him.
Patricia Owens, complete unknown, and a Hollywood legend, but very also underground, Herbert Marshall.
Cool.
Any...
So Vincent Price, I just watched a Vincent Price film. Again, I always get confused. It's either Return or Revenge of the Invisible Man.
It's Return of the Invisible Man.
Yes, and he is very unrecognizable in that film, besides a few scenes.
Well, that's actually the first horror movie he acted in.
Was it?
That was his...
Because he makes a cameo at the end of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. But that was many years later. Oh, Vincent Price. So, I think the Poe films were in the 60s with Roger Corman.
Yeah. Those were perhaps his most prolific work.
But he was second billed, so I don't think it's going to be the Omega Man.
No.
I'm gonna guess that it is The Fly.
That is correct.
That's correct.
The Fly. Do you know what year that was released?
Okay. I'm gonna say 1953.
Bit early.
Okay, 1955.
Bit early. Add on 3 more years onto that. And
1958?
Yeah, 1958. And it's shocking. And,
it's crazy.
The most shocking thing about this movie, it's shot in color, 20th Century Fox.
It is?
Yeah, 20th Century Fox were very reluctant to actually put any money behind this movie until, I don't actually know what it was. They suddenly thought, well, hey, we'll really push for this one. They shot it in color, not Technicolor.
What kind of color was it?
I think it was, it's on the main title screen. You'll see it says Color by Deluxe, which is essentially
just a cheaper
Technicolor. It's actually
why the fuck would you shoot the goddamn Fly on 3-strip Technicolor?
It's
stupid. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it was made earlier on, they might have chosen to shoot.
That's crazy because I just watched The Fly, the David Cronenberg.
Cronenberg's Fly, exactly.
Directors.
I rewatched it last night.
The original.
I rewatched the original about a week ago, and I rewatched Cronenberg's The Fly again last night.
What a film!
It's interesting to see how Cronenberg adapted it, because it's all based off of a novella, The Fly, and that is written by.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's written by a French-British writer, George
Of
Langland.
course, is a French guy.
Yeah, it always leads back to the French. This guy's quite fascinating. We'll come back to him later on because he is quite the character, and I actually can't wait to show you an image of this guy.
Oh, I bet he's the most French man.
He's a bizarre mix between French and British. It's actually very confusing. If you were to look at him, you would not guess what he is.
What he is? Okay.
Hey, I don't know
Is he
the
the
guy.
Fly? Did he get into a teleporter with a British man and a French guy?
Well, it's funny you say that because due to circumstances in World War II, it actually led to the inspiration behind The Fly. So actually, a lot of his life, because he did write other novels, but they were very grounded in his experiences in World War II. So The Fly, although this out there sci-fi,
What were the Germans trying to make
well,
the teleporters? Well, it sounds like something that, those secret hidden German, science experiments.
It does. It is very fitting, especially for that decade. So this was published in the 1957 issue of Playboy magazine.
Only the finest writing.
Only the finest. The story is of course in French, but translated into English. Okay. So it's not the only film that has been adapted from a novella in Playboy magazine. Can you guess?
Is it The Thing?
No, not The Thing.
Okay.
Can you guess? This is a big,
I know.
big filmmaker too. Yeah, you've heard this before. I know you
this.
have.
I've heard the story.
Everyone's heard the story.
Is it?
Very influential filmmaker.
If I get a wrong answer, don't tell me, because I know I can get this.
You will get this. I feel you'll get this.
Could it be? I don't think it's Total Recall. That was That was a sci-fi magazine.
No, it's not Total Recall. Because Hefner, it seems, was actually quite the science fiction nerd.
Yeah. Damn. Okay.
As you know,
it's on the tip of my tongue. Big director. He's
recently come back into the spotlight.
Recently?
Oh, he's always been in the spotlight, but he hasn't made a film since.
When was the movie
2019.
made that adapted this?
This was
Playboy story?
70s.
I'm gonna give up. I have no idea.
It is Steven Spielberg's Duel.
No way, Duel?
Yeah, it's
That's
from the
crazy.
19s. I can't remember what year. I believe it was 1971.
sounds familiar, yeah.
1971. I think I have that right. 1971, 1972.
That'd be so funny. Like you can imagine your granddad flipping through a Playboy and be like, "Oh fuck yeah, man, this is some mint shit," and then scrubbing through the next page and be like, "Oh, words," and you're like, "Oh, it's actually not too bad. It's not too bad."
Killer trucks. I kind of fuck with this.
Yes.
Well,
and then let's get back to the fucking porn, mate.
It must have been quite the shock. You're reading 1957's issue of whatever issue it was in 1957, and you come across a story about The Fly.
That's it. I'm gonna go buy that Playboy solely for Duel.
I did download the story. I was going to read
articles.
it. Yeah, I was going to read it. Unfortunately,
Maybe Spielberg, he got caught reading a Playboy, and he's like, "You don't understand.
Look.
I'm going to adapt this. This is my next feature." Oh yeah, sure. What's the feature? Duel. And history is never
history
the same.
has been changed.
Thank you, Hugh Hefner.
Fly 1958, directed by Kurt Newman. Mm-hmm. Its budget has very conflicting statements between 325 to 495,000. Although producer Lippard, he claims it was like 480, but no one seems to be able to know.
Okay.
This is a shock to me, given to me how influential I believe this movie is. Mm-hmm. It is so hard to come across behind the scenes, like even images or articles. It's so hard. I had to really dig for this stuff.
I'm guessing all you found was Cronenberg.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
The sequel, right? The Fly the sequel to the original Fly is
Yeah.
probably the more famous, right? Because that's the one that actually stars
Yeah, well, it's
Vincent Price.
no, he's in the original.
Oh, I thought he starred in the second one.
No, he's in the original. He's barely in the sequel.
Okay.
Yeah, he's basically in there. And he drops out like 5 minutes, and he's like, "Peace, guys, you're not paying me enough."
That's got to be a low fucking budget if you can't afford Vincent Price.
Oh yeah. But
Jeez Louise.
you would expect this to be a black and white movie. The sequels are black and white, and a lot of people will think, "Hey, this is a black and white movie," and be in shock. It's like, no, you're just thinking of the sequels.
That's the real horror.
You're going to be in shock. Let me tell you. I've already touched on this. It's in color, shot in CinemaScope, because of course in the mid to late 50s, 20th Century Fox is investing heavily in the CinemaScope system.
For the TV, yeah.
To
grab the
compete
people
with
back to
television. We'll touch on that probably in a later episode because it is quite fascinating. It's written by James Clavell, who wrote The Great Escape, some other small films that I have not seen, The Saturn Bug and Taipan.
That's a classic, right? Where a writer writes one of the greatest films ever made and then goes off and fucking writes absolutely nothing.
It's
a classic Hollywood.
Yeah.
Probably because they're also credited on like 70 other films, but like, Manx style. They're not really credited.
Yeah. And even The Great Escape, I think it was a committee. So I don't know if you can really give this guy full credit. He might have chucked in a paragraph.
God, we should do a Mank episode.
Oh, man.
What a film. What a picture.
In there, I forget where it was in my research, but there was another Mank. Not
Mank 2?
Yeah, not the Mank we're
This
thinking
time it's
of.
personal.
It was another Mankiewicz, however you say his name.
That must have been a popular name.
Yeah. But yeah, we've already. I do have it. Yeah, so Duel was published in 1971.
Right,
in
I got
April.
you off track with that, yeah.
Yeah, I was right in front of me. I don't know why I missed that. But going into this movie, you've seen Cronenberg's The Fly. Mm-hmm. That film is very, very heavy on its gore. It does not hold back. But we're talking about a 1958 movie. The Hays Code is, I think it's still in effect. So any bit of violence or any bit of blood needs to be very, I guess, they need to show it in a way where it's not suggested as if it's, I guess, harmful or it's intentional.
Well, yeah, I think the only shot I know from this film is the reveal of the fly. I think that is the only shot I know of this, and I probably think of more the Simpsons episode.
Oh, the treehouse.
The Treehouse of Horror sub mini episode of Bart going through it. That's probably because there's the shot of him being stuck in the web.
Yes.
That's in the sequel?
Yes.
It?
No, that is in this movie, and we will be discussing that later on.
I'm just jumping ahead. I'm just fucking blazing
it
through
is
it.
quite, we don't even need to watch the movie, man.
Well, you just like talk about the Treehouse of Horror episode.
I actually haven't seen it.
That's a great episode.
Your first thoughts going into this, coming from Cronenberg's The Fly, what are you expecting?
Well, I've seen the 50s horrors, which were, because of the Hays Code and because of World War II being, decently in the past, a lot of horrors moved from adaptations, like the classic Universal adaptations, into more nuclear horrors. Them is probably the big one. Tarantula, It Came From Outer Space, stuff like that, where it's just big creature. I don't think, no, never mind. Big creature attacks, and those are always so goddamn boring.
Well,
oh boy, they're boring.
I won't rule out some scenes maybe being a touch on the boring side.
They're going to be. I think that's the given with 50s and especially B-50s.
You can't change that, and in a way, that's actually what makes it quite charming, right?
That's the charming part, is how they try to work around those limitations.
Most of these B movies, they know what they're making. It's slop. But this movie, there is some real passion behind it. You can really feel that these filmmakers want this to be like something that would probably stand up to what they didn't know, but what we see today. See today is our horror films that we watch in the modern sense. Right. They wanted The Fly to be a serious drama horror.
Or did they? But I think the classic back then was to get the job done.
That is true, but you watch the movie. Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll still feel the same after.
You feel passion behind the camera.
I do. I really do.
That's great. That's very rare.
I really do. And
then.
Kurt Newman, he died shortly after this movie was made.
He didn't go through the teleporter and.
No. Or maybe he did. Maybe he did. We don't know.
For an interactive Universal ride, maybe.
Perhaps. All right, we gotta get on with this movie, man. All right, we'll be back after The Fly.
It isn't like any other fly I've ever seen. No! 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 Please let me look at the fly.
I've killed Andre. Please help me. Call the police and...
The charge can only be murder.
There were no mistresses. I had no lovers.
Why did you kill him?
God, don't let it get out.
Inspector, it's in the garden. Come quickly. As God is my witness, I saw the thing. It's unbelievable. I shall never forget that scream as long as I live.
The fly's on its way. Watch out for it. It's far beyond anything your mind could ever conceive.
Please be warned, spoilers are ahead. We are back from watching The Fly 1958. Rhys, first impressions?
It was great. It was incredible. I thought it was a fantastic film. I am very surprised with how disturbing it is.
Well, 1958, I think, if you put it up against other movies of the same genre, you're not seeing first 2 minutes like a man squashed in between a press machine with blood.
It's such a interesting start, going straight in media res. It feels like you accidentally put on the wrong film.
Yeah.
It feels like the start to the sequel, very Dracula's daughter, just like, straight into it. We're just straight into the sequel, but it's so weird.
I'll tell you, the film does not mess around.
No.
Like, first 10 minutes, right, we're in. Immediately, we're pulled into the chaos. I guess the inciting incident within the first 15 minutes, right?
A very gruesome start. I don't really know of a horror film from that decade where it just starts straight with brutal murder.
I think we're going to talk about the opening, right?
Yeah.
So this is 1958. Straight away, we're hit with the huge CinemaScope logo, right? It's hell, it's even bigger than the 20th Century Fox logo, right? It's glorious. It's like walking into a stage musical. We've got the overture, the music swelling. It's absolutely beautiful, and I think just right away, right, we can tell they want this to be like an experience. They want this to be like I could picture sitting in...
James, stop jacking off the movie.
Come on, man.
It's just The Fly.
I could picture...
You say this like it's goddamn Vertigo.
No, man. I could picture sitting in the Civic in Auckland. I could picture sitting in there with a live orchestra watching the start of this, right?
Yeah, but I think it's a very normal intro for a movie of this decade, don't you? Do you think it's special?
I think it's special because it's The Fly, because it's a B movie, right?
Because
we're not putting on Gone with the Wind here. you're not putting on them and seeing, having a huge overture at the start
That's
of
true.
your
They'd
movie.
probably just fucking put some random backing track.
Yeah, it's just some garbage we recorded in the backyard that we got old mate to put together. So in that regard, I do think it is quite special.
Okay.
But the opening, funny enough, the guy who designed the opening title sequence, Wayne Fitzgerald, he also happened to work on the remake, 1986,
Really?
the Cronenberg movie.
I can't remember the opening of the Cronenberg film.
It's nothing. It's nothing incredible. He just did he did the title design. Yeah, no, it's no Soul Bass. But he also worked with a lot of other huge notable filmmakers. He worked with Brian De Palma. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
First De Palma reference, James.
First of many, I'm
First
sure.
of an ungodly amount.
He also worked with it's not coming to mind, Apocalypse Now, Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah. I mean, if you punch his name,
that's great. That's
in
awesome.
a letterbox now. Look up.
Let's see if I can find
Wayne Fitzgerald. You're gonna come up with, I think, over 140.
Well, that's
Yeah, I mean that's everyone.
They probably had two. They had Soul Bass and Wayne Fitzgerald.
Yeah. I mean,
Cuckoo's Nest, China. Oh my god.
Then
What a
another
guy.
filmmaker I dare not mention, because he is scum.
yeah.
We don't want to.
Well, I'm sure we'll be speaking about a lot of scum in this series.
But that particular filmmaker, I do not want to.
Hey, I'd love to do a
spotlight.
scumbag series.
That could be great. That could be great. Depends on how deep of a scumbag they need to be. What's the caliber they've got to be to reach
The scummiest of scumbags. The film, I felt, was just so much more than I expected from a 50s B movie. It was... I think it must have been because it was written for Playboy.
Yeah.
So I
don't think it was written for Playboy. I think it was picked up by
Playboy.
By Playboy because Hefner is a sci-fi nerd.
Yeah.
I believe that's why.
It had so much more tension than I thought it would be. The scenes where the wife would interact with the husband in an Elephant Man style with the head covering, it was incredibly evocative. I was a bit chilled in some of those scenes. I thought they were excellent.
Well, especially the scene when going back a little bit, when Andre realizes his experiment was not quite successful. Like, we have the swelling music and then just nothing. Like, it's just silence, and he goes mute, and it sets the tone right away. And I just think that scene is so perfect, and it's just more scenes like that.
God, he was a buzzkill though. He was such a buzzkill. Like he did the whole thing. They were celebrating. They went to the ballet, brought champagne. Everyone's having a great time, and he's like, the cat's fucking dead. I killed it. I sent it into the Cthulhu realm. It's fine. Let's bone.
I actually think her reaction is not.
She's so mild about it.
She's so mild.
Like, it's a fucking cat. It's Adams. It's Adams.
Adams of cats. Cat Adams.
That was haunting though when the cat was like meowing in the goddamn fourth dimension.
It's fucking haunting, man. No. It's. I think I wrote on my notes when that happened. Andre, not a fan of cats.
It's just a weird film that you can feel the censor boards having a hand in it a bit. Not in the sense of cutting, but in the sense of, okay, well, we need to change some stuff in the writing and the directing.
I do believe it was hard to find information on this. I mean, I can't say for certain if the source is accurate or not, but there were, I think, it did go through a few I guess not rewrites, but screenings where they had to edit a few.
It's a classic 50s ending where they have the ending and then they tack on another ending just for the censor boards, where it's like the real ending is her being taken away in a straitjacket, which is a horrifying scene. That everyone is so in conflict with each other and everyone's screaming, and it's really harsh to watch.
Well, I think Patricia Owens, her performance is
excellent.
It's incredible. Like I mean, we'll put aside the part where she faints. It's a little too much. But
I believed it in this though. Normally I don't, but I'd believe. I mean,
I just feel like it's so 1950s to have the woman faint, right? It's like, oh my, she can't handle the
fragility
sight.
of the frail sex.
Beauty can't handle the beast.
You know. But it is harrowing, and Vincent Price goes and he has to take away the son, Philippe.
We love Philippe.
It's really disturbing, and then they're just like, they even find the fly, and they crush it. It's disgusting.
We'll talk a bit on the ending scene a bit later on, because there's a few.
I'm jumping the gun a bit.
A few tales that Vincent Price and forgetting Inspector Truss's name, the actor, but they have had a few tales to tell about shooting that ending scene.
Inspector Karras, I think it's in the letterbox.
Yes,
I'm pronouncing that right. Keeping them all French names was a bizarre choice.
It's interesting because they actually, when they adapted it, they Philippe's
name... Are they different
Yeah,
names?
Philippe's name was different, but it was too close to Andre. I forget what his name was, so they changed that. I don't recall if they changed the other names. I don't think they did.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying...
I will say I don't know where I was. Let's go. Let's talk about the color here, right? Because we're not shooting Technicolor here. We're shooting regular color. We weren't watching it for 4K transfer. It's just a DVD we're projecting up on the screen here. Thoughts on how it looked? Do you like the look of this movie?
Yeah, it's very another Vincent Price film. I always forget the title. House of Wax, or we'll just pause for a second while we wait and load. House of Wax, yeah. Which is another film that is just bizarre colors, and it's very beautiful. But there's just something, not quite right. There's a lot of technical problems because of the era. I think it's very beautiful. I thought it was very beautiful.
I like it. I think the original film, and I think you can kind of tell when they go into into Andre's lab, the film was originally intended to be shot in black and white, I believe, which is why in his laboratory it is very monochromatic. It's not very the color. It's not very colorful. So I believe they were going to shoot it in black and white. So there is that. I think it's gorgeous. Like especially the contrast between being in
in their family home where it's this beautiful 1950s all-American house. And then we just go down to Andre's lab where it's just ugly. It's just they've just kit bashed.
Yeah,
This thing from probably past
we see the
productions.
teleportation around like 7 times, much more than the Cronenberg film, and it is so ugly to look at and so ugly to listen to. It is the most grating sound. And the tube, they got like fucking Blade Runner neon tubes everywhere. And it is so hideous. I don't know who made this. It's hard. I think we had to sound up a bit too much because my ears were bleeding by the 7th time. I was like pulling my head back like I was a turtle going into its shell. It was so goddamn loud and grating.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's not very complex either. When you think about it, it's just like there's like because he boots up the machine, there's the ticking, then he goes over, he switches on what's clearly just the reels from from an audio recording device. But I love it. I think it's great. I really do love it.
Well, make it your ringtone then, because fuck, that was horrible. If you love it that much,
I'll make it my alarm. That would get me up in the morning. That would eventually really get to me.
While we're talking about the look of the film, do you want to play our first game?
Play our first game?
Of if we want this to be a 4K?
I think we'll save the segments for after we're done talking.
Okay.
We'll just keep talking. I do want to touch on the cinematographer. I actually have a photo of him here. This is Karl Struss. He looks very, very young in this picture. But he actually started as a photographer, born in 1886. I realized my notes. I pressed the wrong numbers here. But born in 1886, moved to LA 1919, where he signed with industry giant. You recognize the name Cecil B. DeMille. Just a small unknown out there. So he signs on as a cameraman. It seems that he was an early adopter of shooting in color. So he was one of the
truly the fly of his time.
Yeah, he was a very vocal,
pushing the bounds of technology.
He was a very vocal advocate for shooting in color, right? See, he was an early adopter. He wasn't just a cinematographer. He was also an inventor, technician. He used to design. I'm not even shitting you. He used to design his own lenses. He used to build his own camera lenses. And when he was a photographer, that's what he would do. He would build his own lenses, and I guess that's how you get into the game when you're young. You got to build your own camera lens.
Well, yeah, back then there was probably like 2 cameras.
Oh yeah,
in like in his state.
But yeah, he's quite a fascinating guy. I mean, he shot over 140 films. He has 140 credits to his names, which is
but
easy.
I don't know those. Yeah, I don't ever believe those stats from the 50s because
you're shooting like 3 films back to back.
Yeah, it's literally your job, 9 to 5.
Yeah, but notable films he's made. You'll recognize some of these: Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1931. Yeah. The Great Dictator, Chaplin. A Song of Two Humans, and then The Sign of the Cross, and of course The Fly, which we're talking about. Nominated for 4 awards. So he won Best Cinematography in the 1929 inaugural Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm. Did they have the split back then, the black and white and color split
not
back then?
1929.
Was it just black and white?
Yeah, just black and white.
Right.
He did win it with another cinematographer. They must have collaborated on the film they won it for, which was Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans. Haven't seen it. I don't think you have either.
No. What year was that?
That was 1929.
1929.
Yeah, of course there was no fucking color. What was I thinking?
But I mean, this is like he was nominated for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
I guess this is an era where you're getting nominated for.
I don't think they had too much to pull from back then, though.
You look at the honestly, like honest to God, you go to the Academy website, you look up the 1929, 1930, 31 Oscars. They've got like 2 nominations.
Yeah.
There was one category. There was like 2 nominations for best sound design.
I'm surprised they had best sound design back then.
Oh, was it? I don't know what the category was,
Fuck,
but
the Academy was crazy back then.
But Strauss, he thought this film was a bit ridiculous.
This man shot Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What, you think he's fucking high and mighty? He gets one nomination for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and he thinks he's king of the castle. What a prick.
Hey man, these you know.
I don't know. Being high and mighty back in the 50s of Hollywood, what are we doing? Like, this guy was shooting 70 of these a week.
I'm sure this is back in the era where everyone is everyone's Christopher Nolan. They're on set with a suit.
Yeah, but you were going to the slip and slide in a fucking suit back then. Like,
right, I get it, yeah.
You were going to laundromat in this suit. That doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, but I'm sure. Honestly, have you seen 31 Jekyll and Hyde?
I've seen clips.
It's not as absurd as.
Let's pull up this man. I'm calling shenanigans.
I'm only saying if someone turns to me and says, "Hey James," and this is 1958.
He was the cinematographer of The Alligator People. Get the fuck out of here. Carl Strauss, you fucking prick.
Well, he's German.
Yeah, yes.
You know what they say? Germans don't have a sense of humor.
God. He did The Island of Lost. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, you think
too high and mighty for The Fly.
Okay, you think that's ridiculous, right? I was going to talk about the cast. Let's
Rocket Ship XM.
No, let's go back to our director.
Yeah,
Kurt Newman. All right, also German. Born in Germany, 1908.
Mm-hmm.
He worked briefly in the German film industry in the late 20s. Yeah.
Yikes.
He was brought to Hollywood.
But that was a great era, though. Yeah. That was a great era of German films, and that crashed very quickly. I wonder why. Well, that was the time of the, German expressionism.
Yeah, we got
it was a huge era.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, Nosferatu.
Very lucky.
Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. He had some great films.
Yeah.
And I wonder why it all crashed so quickly. Anyway.
Well, it's a shame because he moved to Hollywood and he would direct movies in German because, that was back when, we got to make a talkie, but we got to make a talkie for Germany. Shit. Let's just make it in German.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So he did that for a while. Eventually, I don't know when this was in his career, but I don't know how this happened or what led to this, but he ended up directing a little film called Rocket Ship XM, right? If you go to his credits, you'll find this movie.
The picture you've been reading about in every important national magazine and newspaper. Among them, Life. This week, the New York Times, Popular Science, Seeing Stars, Popular Mechanics, Parade, the New York Daily News.
And this is one of the pioneering films that kicked off the 50s sci-fi craze, right? Although it is the first movie that kicked off this craze, it is actually designed to be a copy of another movie, and I might be wrong here. I think Spielberg might cite this as one of the early movies he saw, but a movie called Destination Moon, right, which is a sci-fi epic.
It is just 1 minute before takeoff time in the uninhabited desert of White Sands, New Mexico.
Tell them to stand by for count-off and firing.
59, 58, 57.
But to reach this dramatic moment were months of construction, checking every detail 1,000 times, and a desperate struggle to convince the skeptical, to outwit those who would stop us. to muster up courage to challenge the black, airless void of terror-stricken space.
Come back to me, Charles. Please come back.
Also influential in its own rights, because it was a sci-fi epic that was actually properly backed by a studio, had money behind it, and the producer of that movie, he had a friend who was the producer of Rocket Ship XM, and he got wind of his mate making this sci-fi movie, and he was like, oh shit, if I just fucking, get my ass in again, we can fucking nut out our own sci-fi movie, and we'll get it out to theaters easy before these guys.
So it was an Ant
yeah
versus Bug's Life situation where Ant beat Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And so everyone cites Rocket Ship XM as the founding film that kicked off the 50 sci-fi craze, right? When in reality it's actually Destination Moon, and actually in another reality there is another little movie, but that actually came out before these two that no one cares about.
It's a rabbit hole that every invention comes to.
Yeah.
It's the same with Halloween, where people are like, well, Halloween was the original, but actually it was Black Christmas, and it was Chainsaw Massacre, and it was this, and it was that, and it's like, you start spinning down, and you fucking end up talking about the
Trip to the Moon.
Yeah, Trip to the Moon, Haunted Castle.
Yeah.
Once there's very little in the way of actual a black and white who is right. But I think in this situation that actually is, because he literally just stole it. So
it's
maybe this one is the only black and white situation.
Hey, it's in true 1950s fashion too. B movie fashion. You take
he was the John Lasseter of his time.
You take a better idea, crank it out in a month, and there you go. You got yourself a 1950s sci-fi.
James is going to be here to jack it off for you. I'll jack it off too, just a bit less.
Oh, well,
I won't
someone
put a
has
lot
to
of effort
fully
into
jack
it.
it off.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about his filmography. So he's done Secret of the Blue Room.
Kurt Newman.
Yeah. She-Devil. And for some reason, he directed a crazy load of Tarzan movies.
Tarzan thought Jane never come back.
Being away is a lot harder than staying behind.
Very lonely without you.
You say that like it is an obvious why he directed a shitload of Tarzan movies.
It's just so
It's because
funny.
I think everyone directed Tarzan movies.
It's just, he's got The Fly, and then he's got like 20 Tarzan movies.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if every director, when you dig deep enough, has made 7,000 Tarzan movies from the 50s.
Yeah. I mean, I see you're also to
watch any of his films.
Watch any of his movies. Wonder why that is.
Well, I'm not a big Tarzan fan, that's why.
Yeah, not a big Tarzan fan. But like I said, he unfortunately did pass after the premiere of The Fly, and then around a week before the film was actually widely released.
He was only 50.
Yeah. So
wow, that's so sad.
It's devastating. Yeah, it's greatest movie.
Well, I wouldn't say devastating, James. I think we're gonna say this for some better directors coming up. Let's save that. It's a very powerful
We'll
word.
save it for Chris Nolan one day.
Yeah. It's tragic. I think devastating is a very it's got some oomph to it. Let's save that for Cronenberg when he dies.
Yeah. Let's talk about the cast here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So David Hedison, like I think I said at the start, you're actually a little bit familiar with his work.
Right.
He was involved with 2 007 movies.
Okay.
If you have a look, see if you recognize his character.
Oh, he's Felix Leiter.
Yeah.
Where's my wife? Don't worry. We gave her a nice honeymoon.
Back when Felix Leiter was just a random white guy. I've watched every single James Bond film, and I think Felix Leiter is. I feel he was. he became a slightly interesting character in the... I think the Craig films were the ones that actually made him an actual character. It is odd that he was two different Bonds, Felix Leiter. I don't know if any other Felix Leiter has that distinction. Because Felix Leiter is in the first Bond film.
Yeah.
We're talking too much about Felix Leiter. I think this is the most anyone's ever talked about Felix Leiter.
I don't even recognize the name Felix Leiter, nor do I recall anyone from the first movie called Felix Leiter.
He's like a blonde guy with glasses.
Man,
maybe I'm even wrong. Maybe it's all in a hallucination. Well, anyway, enough about Felix Leiter.
Enough about Felix Leiter. David Hedison dies. He actually did not die too long ago. July 18th, 2019. So he did. He actually had a very long life.
That's good.
Yeah, good for him. But like, it's as putting aside Vincent Price, you'll notice a trend here where The Fly happens to be everyone's peak performance in their career. Patricia Owens.
I think Patricia Owens is incredible in this film.
Yeah, she is
really
fantastic.
Holds the film together. I think it's a classic where you have an incredible on-screen actor like Vincent Price, and then have him disappear for the other half of the movie just to get his name on the bill, and then for the rest of the film to flounder. But she really carries this film.
She does. She really holds her own here, especially for a majority where she is just acting against someone mute.
And there are just scenes where they're trying to catch a goddamn fly. They're literally just trying to catch a fly, and she is great.
I think it's brilliant when she tosses the tray off the table, and she's it is brilliant.
And I wonder if that is just the director then, because if these actors don't have much after that, even the inspector is a great performance.
Yeah, it is.
You really feel he's going through it at the end after he's killed the fly.
Well, could it be that they appeared in The Fly? Like, sure, the film is a
you
success.
Mean the energy of The Fly? It was their Godfather. They really brought it all.
Like, sure, The Fly is a success, but it's still a B movie. It's still a horror, right?
Right.
And come on, we know that.
You think Live and Let Die is David Henderson's Scent of a Woman, in a way?
Yeah.
Is Devil's Advocate? And The Fly is the Godfather?
I'm going to regret talking about The Fly.
I think you'll regret most of this.
Okay. Patricia Owens, right? So she's a Canadian-born actress. She moved to England with her parents in 1933 when she was about 8 years old. And then 10 years later, when she was 18, she made her motion picture debut. And that was in the musical comedy Miss London Limited.
The front of a train for Basingstoke and Fareham. The back of the train will call at Poole and Wareham.
Like, honestly, there was nothing about her. Like, a lot of these actors.
I don't think we're gonna have that change in any other episode of this. I don't think we'll get to Leprechaun goes back to the hood.
But no, actually, you say that. But David Hedison, there's like I've come across 5 websites.
Well, because they're all Felix Leiter fans. You were looking on felixleiter.com. That's why you were getting some juicy goss.
No, but seriously, she is fuck all about her. I had to go to Wikipedia. There was nothing else. It was like,
there are no fan sites for Island in the Sun.
But funny enough, she appears in Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which the original writer of the short story also wrote an episode for Alfred Hitchcock Presents. So there you go.
That was.
Yeah, it always goes back to Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Well, in their case.
Should do 6 Degrees of Hitchcock instead. Just be harassment lawsuits, I guess.
A little known actor, Vincent Price appears.
The great Vincent Price. He's so good in this.
Francois.
And half of his screen time is dialing people.
Yes.
My God, there is probably a solid 4 minutes of this film that are just Vincent Price so charmingly holding a phone, desperately spinning a rotary around, just and those were probably the best 4 minutes of the film.
There's a lot to that, man, and I think...
What part of his career was this?
Well, this was 1958, so what, we're talking... not at his peak, because his peak was probably the 60s, I want to say.
This was just before House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
Which is probably his apex around that time.
Well, a lot of his early roles in the 40s were more romantic leads. They, like, you know, he wasn't seen as the, you know, the horror icon he is today.
Though he was in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Oh, there is that. But he was also on Laura, like Preminger's Laura.
It's so weird because his role in the film is that he is the brother of the lead. And I can never imagine anyone growing up with Vincent Price. He seems like a man who came out of the womb 6 foot with his beautiful chiseled face like a Tim Burton sketch.
It's crazy, and a lot of actors like that. I think, you know, it would there'd be stories that would come out about them actually being assholes. Where I'm reading a book at the moment, and the writer of House of Usher, he writes, he's like, yeah, he was actually the most charming, gentle, brilliant man I've ever met. Like, he was like
Vincent Price.
He's the kind of guy that would walk over to the grip and shake his hand, or the
to be fair, he wasn't in huge movies.
Well, yeah, he's not the DiCaprio of the
he was
of the 60s, right?
He wasn't in Rocket Ship XM.
He's not the child.
He was in lowly films like The House of Usher. He wasn't in Tarzan.
He was no Kirk Douglas. Yeah.
No.
No, but he did, you know, his big break was 1953's House of Wax. Also, one of the first films to be shot in 3D.
The House of Wax, the ultimate dimension in terror, comes to the screen in Stereovision 3D. Vincent Price, at his diabolical best, will take you room by terrible room on a journey to the ultimate chamber of horrors. Stereovision 3D will synthesize before your eyes the terrifying reality of it all.
He didn't just associate with horror either. He loved genre. He loved horror, of course, but he also loved drama and comedy.
What is your favorite Vincent Price performance then?
It's a tough one.
He's one of those guys that you've seen him in a million things.
Yeah, because I never think of a singular Vincent Price performance. I more see him as Vincent Price.
Yeah,
I don't know if
character.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
he's great. He's great in The Great Mouse Detective.
Never seen that.
That is an excellent. The Last Man of Earth, which I think I incorrectly called Omega Man. Don't know if that's the original book title, but that one is incredible. Witchfinder General. He's always the best actor in any film he's in.
He always shines above the rest.
Yeah,
it's just because he's so charming.
He's so good.
He has such a presence about him that when he is on the screen, it's like, well, do you even have a chance, right? Like, if you're acting beside him, do you even have a chance?
Yeah, one of the iconic actors who could never be in any movie that wasn't a genre film.
Yeah.
What an icon.
Saying that, though, I really have not watched that many films he's been in. Like, really, like, looking at it, I'm like, it's actually pretty sparse for me.
Though I'm sure we will cover many.
Yes.
Many.
I do love him in House of Wax, though.
Yes.
I think we did briefly talk about the one of the, I guess,
smaller roles. Inspector Truss, he's played by Herbert Marshall. Born in London, 1890, dies 1966, and was the son of a well-known British actor, so he comes from theatre, like a lot of these actors did. Fought in World War One, where he was severely wounded. Now, could you guess he had a prosthetic leg?
No.
Yeah. He lost his leg 1915, and so he just continued acting with a wooden leg, which is pretty groundbreaking. He was actually more successful after he lost his leg.
One of the first, probably one of the first disabled.
Yeah.
Or at least disabled people. What is there a term for disability after birth?
Disability. Yeah.
Not genetic disability or something. But yeah, that's incredible.
Let's talk about let's go to the author of the novella, George Langland, because this guy he's a bit bizarre. I'm going to show you the photo right now.
Right.
I don't know if this is pre or post plastic surgery.
Plastic surgery. So was he also in World War II?
So World War II, he works as an intelligence agent during World War II in France.
He was James Bond. He was Felix Leiter himself.
I mean, in a way,
the modern day Felix Leiter,
because he because of his ears. I'm assuming this must be pre-World War II, because of his ears, he had to get plastic surgery done so he wouldn't stick out.
Oh, okay. So when you say plastic surgery in World War II, you expect a fucking bomb blew up in his face and he had to reconstruct everything. But he had plastic surgery to get the role of Felix Leiter in real life. He had to get a facelift.
He volunteered.
He was too ugly to be a regular person. Well, he couldn't blend into a crowd. He was hideous.
Are you to tell me this man is British or French? Like, who does he look like to you? Like,
he looks like Felix Leiter to me.
Anyway, he agreed to undergo extensive plastic surgery that would render him unrecognizable. And The Fly is his most successful
sounds like
piece of work.
Again, like the plot of The Invisible Agent. Did they make him invisible? He'd be great with those ears. He could hear from a mile. An invisible man who could hear from a mile. God, what an ally he'd be.
Let me describe his facial features, because no one can actually see this right now. He's got the ears of what I can only imagine is like a baby elephant going through, like...
He looks like a baby that got blown up in Photoshop.
It's not very nice.
Well, he's dead. I don't fucking care. He made The Fly. He should accept that.
Well, he did, and it was his most successful piece of work. And he never reached that level of fame again.
We're being so mean to this man who gave us such a great film.
Okay, let's talk about the effects and the makeup. Okay?
Yeah. Probably the most iconic shot of the film is the reveal.
What do you think it's more, because we get two reveals. We get the hand, and there's a solid 15, maybe even 20 minutes that go by before we even see the face. Do you think it's what do you think is more shocking?
Well, the face.
The face, yeah.
The hand is like, it's a claw. It's pretty cool. There is a scene, at the end, where he goes crazy and starts smashing up the place, where he tries to go in for a smooch of the lead actress, and we're like, is it the Fly talking? Do you think the Fly wants to smooch this lady?
Well, when you think about it, his head is on the
the little
That's
fly.
the thing that confuses me.
Yeah,
is that is his consciousness in the fly, or is it in the man?
It makes no sense because it's supposed to be split, right? Because the fly is
right. It's like 50-50.
Yeah, because in the Cronenberg movie, of course, it's more well.
Cronenberg doesn't believe that flies have souls.
Yeah, no, well, they don't have souls.
Weirdly, this is corrected in the Treehouse of Horror episode, because in that the fly, its mind is in Bart's body and Bart is in the fly's body, so it actually makes more sense in the Treehouse of Horror episode.
There you go, The Simpsons. They got it right.
Yeah, maybe we should make more fun of this fucking writer, George.
Maybe
let's go back. Let's scroll back and we can make fun of him for another 20.
Maybe this guy's actually a fucking idiot. That's it.
James, come on. This guy brought us The Fly.
This guy wrote The Fly.
Have some class.
More successful than either of us so far. Then again, he was actually 50 when the Fly was published.
We got some time.
Yeah, we've still got some mileage on us.
But the makeup, yeah.
But no.
Anyway, what was I talking about? The Fly wanted to make out with the woman?
With Patricia Owens, yeah.
Why would the Fly want to make out with a woman?
Well, I don't
maybe
actually know if
maybe it's like the B movie scenario.
Do you
the
think
bee is attracted, so the fly is attracted to. I mean, she's a beautiful woman.
I mean, hey, well, yeah, but I don't blame him. Well, he just wants to get one last smooch in before he crushes himself.
Like the fly hand goes for her, and then his human hand
right?
takes it. So did the fly want to cop a feel?
I think it's I think the fly wants to kill her. You can do some kinky shit
with that fly hand.
Look, I can only speculate on what the fly hand is trying to do to this lady.
That's why we need a remake.
So makeup is done by Ben Nye. He is perhaps one of the most renowned artists of the Hollywood industry of his time.
Mm-hmm.
He was a pioneer in special effects makeup. His film credits do include The Day the Earth Stood Still, Planet of the Apes. There's a bit of a story with that one too. Gone with the Wind.
Jesus, I'm looking at this list. Yeah. This is fucking crazy.
The Sound of Music, The Fly, 1958, of course. All About Eve, The Valley of the Dolls, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
Wow. But again, it's really hard to give him so much props.
Well, look. Luckily for you, I have looked into this.
Yeah.
So a lot of his early work, of course, we can say he's actually on the ground floor.
Like, how much work are you going to do on Gentlemen Prefer Blondes? Like, he comes on to set, sees Marilyn Monroe, he's like, I'm going to take 5.
So a lot of his early work, he worked on Gone with the Wind, which was a film where I think he really started to transition over into developing his own makeup because
I don't think he did.
So he had to match the skin tones of African American actress McDaniel. Her first name escapes me.
Where's the I can't see that on here. It's the Sound of Music.
Unless he's uncredited.
Right, okay.
That could actually be the case here, because his IMDb credits him with more films than Letterboxd. So
right, I'm guessing he was like a secondary, or an assistant.
IMDb credits him with over 400 movies. You see, because in his later work, he was overseer of the 20th Century Fox makeup department, right, where he's overseeing like dozens of films at a time. I think he said he was working on like 8 movies at a time.
Jesus.
6 to 8 movies at a time. So he's actually overseeing a lot of these departments, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Gone with the Wind, he had to develop his own makeup blend for Hattie McDaniel. So this was essentially the start of him getting into making his own makeup. There's a lot of makeup products today that are still being used that he developed in the 50s, 60s.
Well, they used those goddamn Planet of the Apes costumes for about 70 years. I'm pretty sure those were the same ones. They just keep throwing them on new people.
Well, it's interesting because Planet of the Apes, the makeup for that, the prosthetics, they're credited to someone else, right? But he actually did the original makeup test. So what they actually did was 20th Century Fox said, hey, look, we need a pitch here. So they got Ben Nye to put together these, the facial features, the makeup, and they made like a 10-minute
short film, essentially, is what it is. Where they, and it's actually very convincing. Like, it's actually very accurate and close to what the original makeup ended up being.
Okay.
So, of course, in the film itself, it was a different makeup artist, but he did oversee the department that did work on Planet of the Apes.
A lot of the credits on these old studio films are so impossible.
Yeah.
Because the facts of who actually did the work came out 40 years after.
Yeah.
And everyone's clamoring for it. You know, it's like the person who truly picked the hockey mask for Jason.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks that they did it.
Yep.
Or thinks that someone else did it.
Well, everyone wants to take the credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure on Letterboxd there are a lot of uncredited roles for Ben Nye here, but honestly, I do really believe he is one of the most like influential people of
just Planet of the Apes is good enough.
Yeah, like honestly, Planet of the Apes alone, that was one of the last movies he worked on for the studio when they actually eventually shut the 20th Century Fox makeup department in 1970. So I guess they're lucky they slipped in Planet of the Apes there before they shut it down. But it is really incredible. So let's go back to The Fly. There isn't a lot of information. I have a short paragraph here, a couple of sentences, and that was all I could find on how they actually did the effects.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So what I have here is he used foam latex stuck onto a piece of tight fitting fabric. He added hair and stuck turkey feathers in the mouth of Hedison, which were the only mobile part of the face. It hardly features in the movie, though, because it was thought to be too scary. I don't know how much you want to believe that last part, because there's a close-up shot, right, where you see it move.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope that Bill Nye wasn't put the final touches on, as like, wow, great, takes a step back, and then jumps out of his skin because it's so scary.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know how. I don't even know what he's using as his frame of reference here, because in reality, it doesn't really look like a fly, right? Am I wrong?
Well, I have never looked at a fly that closely. I think it looks pretty decent.
It looks like, I'm not saying it's bad. It looks
more
great.
fly than anything.
Yeah. Well, it certainly doesn't hold up against Cronenberg's. We're still in the early days of special effects makeup, but I don't believe you get to Planet of the Apes without first doing The Fly, and I don't believe you get to Cronenberg's The Fly without doing Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah, it's the classic stuff being pushed through horror and genre. Some of the great technical advancements that we have are from horror.
Yeah.
3D probably being the greatest example of that. We wouldn't be watching Fire and Ash without House of Wax.
Let's talk about the release. All right. Can you guess its box office?
Okay. Total is this?
We're talking when it was released. 58.
Right. Fuck. I don't know many box office numbers from back then.
We have its budget. It was roughly for $300,000 to $400,000. It was what it was made for. So
I'm guessing it made 1.5 million, 2 million.
Pretty good guess. Made three.
Right. Okay. 3 million.
Well, again, the numbers are blurred. 3 to 4 million. Who knows if that is even right? Because
that's pretty good. That's pretty damn good.
That's great, and you can
It's probably a reason why they made 2 others.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're like, shit, we got to get another one of these made. But it does
it does, happen to be liked by critics at the time. I do have a...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do actually have
That's very surprising.
Yeah, I have a I guess a short excerpt here from the New York Reporter, which I didn't even know the New York Reporter was still even a thing in '58, but whatever.
Well,
So
you are a stringent New York Reporter reader. You subscribe, are you, James?
I subscribed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I read a review for The Fly in 1958. I was like, oh, these.
You have a tattoo.
Yeah.
New York Reporter.
I do yeah. Anyway, Howard Thompson wrote, The Fly happens to be one of the better, more restrained entries of the schlock school, as produced and directed by late Kurt Newman, with an earnest little cast headed by at the time, David Hedison was called Al Hedison, Patricia Owens, and Vincent Price. This is a quiet, uncluttered, and even unpretentious picture, building up almost unbelievable tension by simple suggestion.
That's incredible, because the top of the pop reviews for a horror film back then would be like, it doesn't irk me. I wasn't wanting to stab my eyes out. 5 out of 5.
Well, I don't know what critics were saying about when House of Wax came out. I don't know if they were saying it was a masterpiece, or they're like,
well,
I don't know what the reception, like the critical reception to horror films were back then. Like,
no,
that is a mystery. But Fly was well received, well liked by film critics. So yeah, it made quite the impression, and then of course goes on to
So in total, The Fly has, is it 5 or 6 films?
We've got 5.
I'm trying to. Is there no third Cronenberg film?
There's no third. Have you seen the second Cronenberg
I have
film?
not seen. I have only.
Are you afraid to watch it?
Not in the Ben Nye.
Look, I know it took you a while to get
jumping out of his
Omen.
skin.
Look, the Omen isn't that scary, Rhys.
Yeah, I was 15 when I watched my first horror film. I'm still trying to get through The Fly. No, I have not seen. I've heard stuff, but is there no third sequel to the Cronenberg film?
I don't believe so.
Right, so there's only 5. Well, only 5. How the fuck do you make 5 movies about a guy who turns into a fly?
And the novella is 25 pages long, I think.
Good.
So
that was the thing. It's a bit too long. Why does this need to be an hour 30 plus?
Well,
most movies back then, movies like this would be 70 minutes and still feel like 20 years.
Did you feel the runtime?
Once they started hunting flies for 50 minutes, swinging fucking nets around, I'm like, okay, come on, gentlemen, let's get to this.
Yeah, you're not honestly, you're not wrong.
They could cut a solid 20 minutes out of this movie.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if this is the theatrical cut, the fucking director's cut. I don't know what
I don't expect there would be a director's cut. I'm sure the director didn't even watch this movie. He went out and took 70 smoke breaks during the premiere, which was like at the same time as a 70th showing of The Sound of Music.
No, but
they were playing it in a little corner, Subway Surf style.
They have Subway Surfer in 1958.
They like blocked off like 4 seats at the front row for The Fly. The rest of it was The Sound of Music.
Hey man, The Fly, Sound of Music, they're pretty on par, I say. Anyway, I do feel we could cut out a good 20 minutes in there.
Especially the last scene, we don't need.
But I like all of the... It ends like 4 times.
Yeah,
but each ending is really good outside of the final one, which is just it's for the senses of, oh, everyone is having fun. Let's go to the zoo, sort of shit.
We can't end on the face
being
shrieking.
crushed.
Being
that
crushed.
was great.
Yeah.
That was so good. I was expecting it to be a case of them taking her away. He finds the fly, and everyone's like, yippee! You know, like a last minute, oh, we're able to bring him back to life sort of shit. But no, they fucking crush him with a rock, a big rock. I don't know why. They could have swiped away that fucking spider. How big was that spider? That was a huge rock. That rock was the size of Philippe's head. And he bashes it.
He fucking thumps it down.
They couldn't just swipe away this. Like, I don't.
I don't know, but all I can tell you.
I'm saying that there was 2 grown men, and their first response was beating it with a rock.
All I know is during the shooting of that scene, Vincent Price and his name keeps escaping me. The Inspector Truss,
Herbert
Marshall. They could not stop laughing, and
come on, Vincent. What are we talking about, man?
I think they were.
You were an Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
I believe.
What are we talking about? Too high and mighty for the fly.
I think Vincent said they had to do like 50 takes. Just.
That's so bizarre.
Because
this same year, I pulled up the films that came out this same year.
Yeah. What have we got?
The Blob. A movie where I would be laughing.
No way, The Blob was 58?
The Blob was 58, shit. Your favorite movie. I would be laughing every take of The Blob.
You know,
at the fact of Steve McQueen pretending to be a 17-year-old drag racer.
Well, I was going to pick that as our first movie, but I knew...
Thank God.
I knew you weren't going to shut up about Steve McQueen being a 16-year-old.
Steve McQueen being a 16-year-old. He's older than the goddamn cops in the film. Lord.
It's actually great. I actually love it. Like, I think it's perfect.
But that same year is... What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman came out that year. This was not peak cinema. The Spider. Earth versus the Spider came out that year. And we're acting like The Fly is the bottom of the barrel.
Well... when you put it up against The Blob, I don't know how to compete here.
Beware with the blob.
But yes, it took like 50 takes to get done. Do you like I'm of 2 minds here. I like the high-pitched voice, but on the other hand, I just think it's a bit comedic.
I think it's very... I found it disturbing. Simply because, for one, they shoot it so bizarrely. It's not just a guy that's shrunk down. He is like a man that's fly-esque. And when Vincent Price and the other actor are really... They have a real look of horror on their face. The spider, like, I have a bit of arachnophobia, so spiders, no matter what, get me a bit.
Yeah.
And just seeing him pick up that huge rock and crush it is really, like, having that contrast between the high-pitched, cartoony voice and a man crushing him with a rock, especially in a 50s film, is very... I did not expect that. I thought they would brush away the spider, they get him, be able to save the day. But no, they just fucking kill him.
Yeah,
he is dead.
They crush him. It's very frightening. It's very frightening. I have seen a clip where someone's actually pitched down the voice and it's kind of been restored. It was actually not David Hedison who did the voice acting there. It was some other no
Did
name.
he do the voice for the rest of the film? Because I felt
Yes.
it was, the dubbing wasn't too great on him.
I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure there.
He's got what? How many pages you got there, James? I'm looking at his notes. How many pages of notes you got there?
I don't have that many pages actually, because I had to condense it all down. What, I've got like 5?
He's got 5 pages on the fly.
On the fly.
Treating this like a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Only 5 pages on the fly. What are we doing? Why am I here?
I had
It's 3 a.m., James.
And all I got is 5 pages on the fly. It's actually quite embarrassing.
I could have written 5 pages on the ending, on Philippe. The fly catching scene, I could write 5 pages.
Well, you mentioned Philippe. What are your thoughts on Philippe? Because he's just a child. He's just a child actor.
He looks like the kid who was friends with Lassie. I think every fucking kid in the 50s looked the exact same. And they all looked punchable. I wanted to punt this kid. I turned to James during this film and said, boy God, I would like to punt this kid.
You would bully this kid if you were in middle school with him?
No, he would bully me. I'd still want to punt him, though.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Let's talk about the differences from the novella to the book.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest difference in the book, when Andre actually, becomes the Fly.
Mm-hmm.
They actually it was written so he had elements of the disintegrated cat morphed into him.
Whoa.
So it wasn't really just
they don't
the Fly.
bring back the cat.
Yeah, no, they don't bring back the cat at all.
It's
no.
Just... They're playing. What's the lawn game they're playing?
Petanque?
Petanque or something.
Is that the name? I haven't.
Yeah. Whatever. What's the one they play on horses? Polo.
Polo?
They're playing like polo or petanque or whatever on the goddamn lawn, and that cat is still in goddamn Cthulhu realm.
Well, again, she's not even half phased.
That's fine.
She's like, on.
Cat'll be fine in the Cthulhu realm.
She's acting like this ain't the first time he's done this. I think he's done this before.
Yeah. Send the cat to a Cthulhu realm. We've all been there.
We've all been there. Yeah. That's really really the biggest change from the book.
That's really cool because in the Cronenberg film, the ending is him morphing with the broken teleporter. So that's sort of carried over. I'm guessing that Cronenberg was more inspired by this film than the novel.
I would say so. Yeah, I
though they are very different.
They are entirely different movies, and of course entirely different eras. So
do you prefer this to the Cronenberg film?
That's a tough one to answer because I love.
It's a real politician question, James.
Yeah, can I give it? Can I do the classic? Well, they're both my favorites.
And that's the politician way. We don't do politician answers on this.
Oh man, I was watching the Cronenberg film last night, and I was thinking of that exact question, and I thought, well, I love the Cronenberg version because I love.
Answer the people, James.
I honestly have to say the Cronenberg version.
You say that like it's a shock. I think if anyone said that the 1958 Fly was the better film,
1958 version,
I think Canada would collectively send a knife across the ocean to stab you.
You know what? I picked the 1958 version then, just to say fuck you.
A man of morals. He changes on a dime. A simple threat changes the man.
Well, what
Who
are
are you
you
if not your morals, James?
What do you pick?
Where's the Cronenberg film? What's the Cronenberg film? What are we talking about? I think it's got a lot of charm, this original film, but...
It does.
The Cronenberg film is just... It's so electric.
Yeah.
It's so electric.
It is, and one of the biggest differences I did note is, during this movie, Helene, she's not isolated like I forget her name in the Cronenberg movie.
The love interest in the
love
Cronenberg
interest.
film, right?
She does have a name.
Veronica.
Yes, that's it, Veronica. Veronica is so isolated. Every character around her is an asshole.
But that's sort of the point of that film. And in a way, that's a point I wanted to bring up, is that you can read this film in the sense of a revenge, a mental breakage of this woman, because the question is put forth of, is she crazy?
Yeah.
And she kind of puts that forward so that she could protect her son. And at the end, I sort of thought that this could be read as a revenge against the subjugation of women back in those days. Well, the men, they get to do what they want. They get to be adventurers, as Vincent Price said at the end. They can be creators. They can be difficult. They can be flawed. But the lead actress in this, she has to play ball. At no point she has the chance to say no or to deny, and any request she has that goes against his desire is treated as idiotic.
Yeah.
And so you can read this, because especially at the start, they really put a point on that he's not around, that he disappears for weeks on end, that he doesn't put any time into Philippe, the child. That, I think you can definitely read this film as a revenge of this woman who's been put into mundanity, who barely gets to go out, and when she does, her husband's still stuck in it. That this is she murdered him because of the subjugation.
Well, there's that hesitation at the end, right, where she doesn't want to, like, you can tell, like, she hesitates to press the button, and I think when she eventually does press the button, like, she really does mean to do it, because it is her getting her freedom.
But she says, the thing that clicked for me at the end was when she's describing it, she says, that wasn't my husband. I couldn't kill my husband. It was an it. It's sort of, I think, a language that is used in films, particularly for mentally ill people that do these ferocious acts to loved ones, that it's like, well, that wasn't my husband. That was someone else. Yep. That was, that was the clown. That was the crazy thing. I think you can definitely read it as that.
That's actually a really fascinating point of view, which honestly, I haven't seen many reviews take that perspective. So it's actually a very interesting way to look at it.
That's why you have the Rhys Meister on this. I come in with the feminist takes. A man of the women, as many people say.
I think that's the problem. Too many men have watched this movie.
Yeah. I'd hate to see the letterboxd gender ratio for this one.
I'm sure it's not great.
But I found that very fascinating. I think that's what makes this film really incredible, is that it is so... You can really read into a lot of it, and I think the actors and the directors pull a lot into this, and to a very fascinating stew of a film that is pretty deep when you start digging into it.
Digging into it now, it's like, well, yeah, for a 1958 like horror, it
to delve into.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about there.
Mental illness, and the morals of what they're doing, and her acts at the end, and the bizarre structure. It's, you don't see that.
Yeah, and I think perhaps the thing that does overshadow what you've just said is this was made during peak atomic era. Around a time where man was playing God.
Yeah,
and this whole idea of you're gonna suffer the repercussions of your creation if you're just you wait. So I think perhaps that does overshadow what you've said, because
because I went going into this, and from what I felt before watching this film was, this is just a shitty B movie horror film that was then elevated, similar to John Carpenter's The Thing, whereas like The Thing from Another World was a boring, kind of dull film. That was really elevated by Carpenter, but this is a film of actual substance. That is very interesting and very well done. That is then heightened beyond that by Cronenberg.
Which is perhaps very rare in a movie like this in the 50s, which is incredible. And again, it's even more tragic that the director did pass after this was made.
I wonder what he would make after this.
It's like, who knows what he would have gone on to next.
But then it wouldn't be his choice then. He would probably get to do the second film.
That's,
And then he'd just do more horror films, which, is fine and all, but back then, directors didn't have a choice. You had to be literal top of the pop to be able to choose anything.
Well, you're assigned to the studio. So you are the studio. And I don't know, perhaps the studio did realize what they had on their hands here, which is why they really did push to get this made in the end. Maybe they did realize there was some unique charm behind this movie, and it really did have something to say. I don't know.
Is there anything else to talk about before we get into the games?
I think we have...
We've covered a lot of it.
We've covered a lot of ground here.
Right.
Perhaps we've
Probably
gone...
too much ground.
Yeah, too much ground. Perhaps we've gone too all over the place here. But I believe we have covered everything I was hoping we would talk about.
Okay,
Shall
great.
we get into the games?
Please.
Perfect. So the first game we have up today, Modern Era Remake.
Right. So, to explain, we're trying out some structures. We're playing some games. Some of them might not work, some might. And we're filling out the ground, right? Yeah.
We're giving it a feel. We're going to try three full segments, see what sticks.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So, first of all, Modern Era Remake. This isn't so much of a, do we think this deserves to be remade, or would we remake this? This is more of a, what would you do if you were to make this today?
I think you would try to remake this film unless the Cronenberg film.
Yeah.
The structure is completely different.
Yeah.
Almost entirely different. Outside of the inciting incident of the teleporter turning a man into a fly is basically a different film.
Yeah. You're essentially right. I think if you were to make this today, who would you cast as Andre? I have a name in my mind, and it's mainly because I watched this film recently, and it really stuck with me.
So,
because Andre, he's got some edge to him, but he's also a very he's a man that keeps to himself.
Who do you think?
I was gonna put forward John David Washington, right?
Oh, John David Washington.
Because I
don't know.
Maybe
I
I'm
don't
incorrect.
think
Maybe
so.
he would be better in the Vincent Price role.
I don't think John David Washington would fit in this film.
No, you don't.
He's too much of a normal person. You need sort of theatrical performances in order to make this work. You need a Vincent Price who's a theatrical, over-the-top actor. I think John David Washington's too cool and normal.
Although
too much of a James Bond. Not
too
not enough of a Felix Leiter.
Yeah, too slick, too cool. Although if we are...
Then Jeffrey Wright. I think Jeffrey Wright would be incredible for this.
Jeffrey Wright, yeah.
He would be amazing as the lead. For the lead actress.
I really struggled with that one because...
Rachel McAdams?
She could work, but I just... I feel she's... I don't know how to say it. She's... I don't know. Yeah, I just don't... Yeah. Who else would I...
Well, it depends. Are we...
Well, are we remaking this...
Well, if we're going from the set of... We're trying to do the same film, the same
Well, I don't think you would do the same plot in...
We're trying to remake this original film more than the Cronenberg film.
Yeah.
Then maybe Jesse Buckley.
Jesse Buckley,
Who
actually...
was in Him, or was it? It was not Him. Men.
Men, yeah.
Another film that was...
Yeah. In Hamnet?
About,
yeah.
I think Jesse Buckley would be great.
I think that could work. I think that could work.
Okay, let's call her.
Yeah.
Let's get it sorted.
Get her on the line.
Get her on the line.
I think that could... I think
Sam Raimi would be so good at this.
He would? I just don't picture...
But you need like a straight face. Like I was saying with Vincent Price, you need a straight face to make this work. To be able to hold the comedicness of The Fly.
Yeah.
But also still keep it serious.
I think you're going in more of a... Yeah, you're going...
Slapstick. More...
I'm thinking more... We're taking this because I don't think if this film was going to be remade, they would add any elements of comedy in it. I'm taking this from like a 2020 Invisible Man.
So maybe Ari Aster.
I was more thinking Lee Winnell because he's already done...
I think it's...
Look, love him or hate him. He has done some good. He did Upgrade. He did The Invisible Man. Love it.
Yeah.
Wolfman, not great. Not great.
No. But I think James Wan would be better.
Yeah.
Because he's at least done more comedically balanced. Has Lee Winnell done a funny movie outside of his collaborations with James Wan?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
James Wan has done Malignant, one of the greatest films of all time.
Perhaps you do put James Wan in there.
I think James Wan.
I think you could put him in there.
Okay, so we would make it James Wan as the director.
Yeah.
The lead actor would be...
Jesse Buckley.
A lead actress would be Jesse Buckley.
Lead actress, Jesse Buckley.
Lead actor would be...
Jeffrey
Wright.
Jeffrey Wright, yeah.
There's a bit of an age gap there.
I got to look up his other...
Well, he was in The Batman as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah. Jeffrey...
I think Jeffrey Wright's a bit older.
He might be too old.
So then...
Because you can't put, like, a Robert Pattinson in. No. He's too clean.
But you could put Robert Pattinson.
Although he does have some range. He does have some range.
Though you could put him as the Vincent Price role.
You could.
Although,
I don't know. I think... I don't know if you'd... I just
maybe. I got it. Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya?
Kaluuya.
Yeah.
He is perfect for that ride of sensibilities.
I like that.
So... I think we'll do that. No, Daniel Kaluuya is the main actor. Jesse Buckley is the main actress. Robert Pattinson is the supporting actor.
Yep.
And directed by James Wan.
Yeah.
That is never going to happen.
And because I want it, I want the inspector to be played by
Jeffrey Wright. He would be perfect. Jeffrey Wright.
I mean, yeah.
Who would you suggest then?
I was going to be a bit cheeky and throw in fuck, why is his name escaping me now? This keeps happening.
The Curse of the Fly.
No. I was gonna throw in Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. But he's supposed to be the straight man. And Jeffrey Wright is such an incredible straight man.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, not wrong. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good.
I think it's pretty good. We'll go with Jeffrey Wright. We'll go with Jeffrey Wright.
Outside of Robert Pattinson, that's pretty plausible. Yeah. I think that could be done. Robert Pattinson could do it though.
I think we're pretty good. I
would watch that movie. I would watch that movie.
We're big physical media nerds.
Yeah.
Love it. Perhaps a little too much.
Yeah.
How many movies would you say you have in your collection so far?
I have a list. Let me pull up the list.
Of course, yes.
With ADHD, I must have a list. Around 800.
Around 800. Okay. Are you? And I don't believe. I know they have a Blu-ray. They've done a Blu-ray release of The Fly 58. I don't believe they have a 4K release.
So I have a 4K of the Cronenberg film.
Yeah.
And I have a DVD of the second Fly film.
Is this something you're gonna want scanned for 4K? You know, you're gonna buy it, put it on your shelf. Is this something you're gonna spend money on? Do you think this is something that's worth it?
It's hard. I bought one of my greatest possessions of my collection is a box set of films that no one has ever seen called The Lost Picture Show, which is 10 films that 5 people have watched. So there is no bar low enough for me not to crawl under when it comes to buying DVDs. So yeah, I think I would.
4K. Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't.
They might have. Let's see.
This is what you get when you only do 5 pages on The Fly, ladies and gentlemen.
I know what the answer is.
Is there going to be one in...
this year, actually.
This year.
Yeah. Well, what are you...
They knew we were coming.
Well, we no longer get a say, Rhys. They are doing it. I've jacked this film off enough tonight. I think we both know I'm gonna buy a 4K.
Yeah. Get your hands on a 4K.
Steelbook. Nonetheless, I'll definitely be buying the Steelbook.
I hate Steelbooks.
I think for me, I just need more special features. If you're gonna release this shit, give me some special features.
They're gonna raise him from the dead. They're gonna raise the director of The Fly from the dead. Kurt Newman for the Steelbook 4K.
I'm gonna go off topic here. Have you seen the trailer for this movie for the Fly 1958?
No, and we should not watch it now.
No, we're not watching it right now, but it's actually brilliant. And I only bring this up because it was on the only thing on the special features on my DVD. Okay.
I think we have one final game, right?
Yes, one final game. Would you like to...
This was my suggestion. I have a scary ability to connect movies. A game called Framed is one of our favorites, and I am scary good at that, but we can really find a way to do that.
Good.
James described... I was driving and he described a shot to me poorly, and I was able to get it on the first one. What was that? There was
I think it was wasn't something like Inner Space, was it?
It was Andromeda Strain.
Yes,
I got it in one from a poorly described shot. Well, I didn't even see it. He described it to me. That was truly a wake-up call. You know, when drug addicts have their rock bottom, that was probably my rock bottom. I just haven't done anything about it.
Nor will you ever.
So, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. This is the classic. I'm a big Kevin Bacon fan. I haven't watched a huge amount of his. He's another Vincent Price character, which I've seen him in a lot. And I love him, but I haven't seen many of his classics. So I'm going to do 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. So for this, I shall start with Vincent Price. He very easily and cleanly goes to Thriller, the great voiceover in the Michael Jackson music video Thriller. I don't know if it counts.
Of course.
I think there's like a feature film or documentary about it. It's on Letterboxd.
It does count.
If it's on Letterboxd, it counts.
Yeah.
And Michael Jackson had a cameo in Men in Black 2. His Agent M. He was like in Antarctica or some shit.
Of course.
I can remember that. But Men in Black 3 had Josh Brolin, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Josh Brolin was in the iconic Paul Verhoeven film Hollow Man, where he was dating Kevin Bacon's ex-girlfriend and lab partner in the iconic Kevin Bacon starring as Hollow Man. So it is The Fly, Vincent Price to Thriller with Michael Jackson to Men in Black 2 to Men in Black 3 with Josh Brolin that then goes to Hollow Man starring Kevin Bacon.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I would not imagine Josh Brolin coming into this, but
he comes up surprisingly a lot.
Really?
In future episodes, I'll probably keep pulling on Josh Brolin because he is in the Marvel films. Marvel films are pretty easy to get to because also Kevin Bacon is in the Marvel series. He is in the Christmas Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
That's
as Kevin Bacon.
Yes.
Star-Lord is...
I forgot. Yeah, I watched. Yes.
It's a good little short movie.
It's a great little one. Yeah, I love that.
So he's already jacking off the next episode. Stay tuned for James to jack off more movies. And from us here at tonight's second feature, it has been The Fly.